Hello, and welcome to Kump.
Hello.
We're back. It's been a minute, a little bit longer than it should have been, but I was sick. I came down not with COVID, right?
No.
That's the story we're going with?
Yeah.
That's what we're saying? Now,
I'm pretty sure it wasn't COVID.
The thing you gave me wasn't COVID, is what you're claiming.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't COVID.
Lucie likes to go out and be a vector for disease and bring it back into the apartment where I stay.
I like to find little coffee shops to write in. It helps me
Get sick?
It helps me focus and get sick sometimes. You were taking care of me while I was sick?
Yeah, I went out to the store and got you all sorts of medicinal goodies.
And you paid for it.
Yeah, I did. Well okay. Yeah. Sure.
You paid the price.
I think I paid for the medicine.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I was a little tacky to bring up.
Yeah.
Yes, I bought you medicine.
He's such a gentleman. He paid for my Advil, cold and slightest.
And the ketamine. I'm not a paramedic, so I can't give you ketamine. We'll get to that in a minute, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not. Look, it's just a sinus infection. You seem to handle yours much better than mine.
Yeah.
And you repeatedly told me it's not COVID.
I don't think it was COVID because I think we'd have fevers if it was COVID.
I think so too. I smelled. I ate. I fell off my keto diet for a bit because of the whatever. You know, you could say, "Hey, why can't you fat fuck? Why can't you just be sick and eat meat?" It's hard. Look, when you're feeling sick, and I had a sinus infection, it was filling my lungs, and whatever. And I'm sorry, I didn't want to risk getting heart. Keto is fine, but I risk heartburn sometimes.
It makes you want little treats.
I want little treats. I'm sorry. What? Send me to the Taliban.
I'm a bad influence on you. I mean, people say I'm a feeder. I don't think I'm a feeder, but
You're a self-feeder.
but I eat things in front of you.
Oh, you feel like you're like a tease?
Selfishly.
People, what do you claiming you eat in front of me? I eat things in front of them.
I eat things in front of you. I eat croissants and bread products.
Yeah, well, to be clear, I'm not saying you can't. I've never said anything about it, honestly. Like, no one would think you can't eat. You give the impression that you get a negligee and you start eating fucking bread pudding and fucking tapioca fucking masturbating. Shoving it in holes. That's not what happens. Whatever. I'm back on the keto. Doesn't matter. COVID free for now. We're gonna get a booster shot soon. Is that the gimmick? They want booster shots now for fucking COVID. Are we doing that?
I guess so.
We're gonna mix it up. Or we can get a Moderna this time instead of a Pfizer.
Oh, I wonder if you can mix the two.
They say not to, but who the fuck? They say a lot of things.
Yeah.
At a certain point, I mean, I'm not taking ivermectin. This ivermectin thing is getting a little out of hand, huh?
What's ivermectin?
Wow. Lucie, I've realized
I tapped out.
she stopped. When she turned off her Twitter, she also just stopped
I stopped reading the news.
experiencing the world outside of a coffee shop.
Yeah.
If it's not a guy coughing and wheezing, asking that you're inviting to sit down and chat with you, then it doesn't exist. I'm assuming you're just very friendly, not cheating on me, but just very friendly. We're very obviously sick people. just so you can feel cosmopolitan by meeting new people every day. Oh, he told me about how his son died, and now I have long COVID. Inaccurate?
No, it's completely accurate.
I thought so.
You got me.
What was I just talking about? Honestly. Ivermectin. Ivermectin. So there's ivermectin paste. So apparently, some people treat COVID with ivermectin. I'm not sure what it does in humans, but it's debated whether it works or not. I'm not saying it doesn't. Some doctors say it works good. Other ones don't. Whatever. I'm not here to adjudicate that. Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But there's also, I guess it's hard to get for some people. I'm not sure the logic here. I'm not sure if it's just for the cost savings or if they just don't want to go to a doctor if doctors aren't handing it out. But ivermectin is used in an alternate use as a deworming paste. They make a deworming paste for horses. You love horses.
I love horses.
So
my critique of every show and movie is not enough horses.
Right. Have you ever ridden a horse?
I have.
How many times?
Maybe like a couple of times when I was a kid. My grandparents lived in like a rural area. We used to ride horses.
Really?
And we go visit them. Not their horses, but like some farms' horses.
Hop on the horse and people are very friendly. Just let you go on the horse. Like, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, you had to pay for horse rides, horsey rides.
I don't want to pay. I don't have to pay for it.
You just want your own horse.
It's just what men say about sex.
Oh.
But was it stimulating?
What do you mean?
Is it just the pussy rubbing on the horse thing that women like, or is it the majestic quality of it?
It's the feeling of being on something that's big and majestic,
like
but also cute at the same time, like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a horse. So you love horses. If you go to a horse store, apparently they'll have this ivermectin paste that you can use to shove it in your horse's mouth, and it'll take care of their worms.
If you go to a horse store.
Yeah.
Welcome to the horse store.
I think it's called a feed store.
Really?
Yeah, I saw someone posted today a picture of the ivermectin in the store, and it was called a feed. He's receiving over a feed store, and all the ivermectin paste was sold out.
You would think that would be a great job for a horse girl, but you probably don't actually see that many horses while you're doing it.
Yeah, I don't think you ride your horse into the feed store. And it's not like Legend of Zelda where you're like, what kind of saddle can you get? No. Yeah, I mean, honestly, even if you was, you don't want to work at something you like. That's true. I mean, because it ruins it. I mean,
yeah, that's probably true.
I haven't taken a picture for fun in 15 years because you do wedding photography and sweet 16s, bar mitzvah. You don't want to shoot photos. Oh, what am I gonna do? Take a picture of a leaf now? Fuck this. I mean, honestly, the only thing worse than someone who's like, then taking pictures is like, I mean, is ruining the fun of it. Is like the thought of going back to it. Oh, here's a picture of a bird. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Piece of shit. Why don't you take a picture of a fat bride roaming in serpentine fashion down the aisle, and there's no lights, and your focus isn't working. You're manly tracking her, and she's just sweating. And you're trying to find one fucking frame where she isn't just bleeding out of her mouth with fat.
You did. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying that's a challenge. And then once you do that, nothing else feels real anymore.
Yeah.
No, it's a picture of a chipmunk I took.
You did take a brilliant picture of your cat once, so it looked like he was fishing.
Well, yeah, I had the toy with the flexi wand with the little fishing line in the end, or like the feather at the end.
But he's kind of going like, and it looks like he's fishing. And it's like I feel like that picture could be on like tchotchkes and stuff.
It could be. I mean, I didn't do it so he would look like he was fishing. I'm just at this point a very good photographer, and I had my camera around and a new cat. And I intuitively was just able to one hand do that and the other hand take really good pictures of dynamic action. I discovered what my cat was doing.
It could be on a little knick-knack and it says "Gone Fishing" on it.
Yeah, it'd be funny if that's how we get out of this rat race. Is by selling tchotchkes. We thought it was gonna be a comedy, or in podcasting, but it's gonna be selling dog shit tchotchkes to fucking losers who are suffering from ivermectin poisoning. So you can get this paste for your horse, but what people are doing is going to the horse store, buying these ivermectin paste, and then taking it to treat their COVID. I assume they're not just trying to prevent COVID, but they're getting very, very sick. They're getting there's people on the internet who are getting sick and then I guess not wanting to go to a doctor. And I've seen this meme shit or this screenshot share a few times where it's like, please, someone, I'm very worried. My shit is turning black and with blood, and I can't even wipe anymore. And I was shoving my ass into this thing. Because it's basically just destroying your digestive system, I guess. Because it's not made for humans.
Why did people think it would work?
Because it's ivermectin. Because it's ivermectin. But it's a horse dosage. I guess the amount of ivermectin you would use is a very small amount. So
if they just took a little nibble of it, maybe they would.
I don't think people understand what a nibble is when you're taking something that a horse takes. You're probably not squeezing a whole bottle into a horse's mouth either.
Right. Yeah.
You're probably giving him a nibble. And so I don't know. So people are getting very sick from that. Why do we bring up ivermectin? Was there a reason for that?
I think that was the reason.
Oh, because
that sounds
that's how you rationalize going to the coffee shop. I'll just take some ivermectin paste.
I'll take some ivermectin paste.
Hey, I get to feel like a horse for a day.
I actually take it. I don't even take it to cure COVID when I get it. I take it as
just to feel like a horse.
Yeah, just to feel one with a horse.
Do you ever just wish you were a horse and not just you were riding a horse?
Yeah, sure.
Which is the predominant fantasy?
Well, riding the horse at this point in my life, I don't think I would want to be a horse. That actually sounds stressful.
Why? How?
Because it's
there's no responsibility. You just fucking I mean,
but what if your owner is cruel?
Your landlord's cruel. Whatever.
Yeah, but your landlord can't beat you.
Yeah, you can.
And starve you.
I mean, there's a lot of horror stories in this country in the past few years.
Look, they could turn off.
You're sounding very privileged right now.
They could. They could turn. I don't think people typically contend with their landlord beating them.
Well, maybe not in America as much. But I don't know if I'd want to be a tenant in the middle
turning
of
their utilities off. Sure, like during the winter.
I don't know if I want to be leasing a studio apartment in Kabul right now. I'll say that. You might have to get.
You think landlords just whip their tenants in Kabul?
I mean, depends on how nice the shared amenities are. If I was a landlord in Kabul, I don't want to do this stuff. I'm not saying everyone in Afghanistan does, but when you're in an environment where you can't call it lawless because they seem to have a lot of laws, especially about women. So I don't know if you call it, but there's it's not as much infrastructure at the moment. I think I don't think Taliban is the most robust municipal services government. You know what I mean? I'm saying response time.
No.
So I'm just saying.
Probably like trash pickup isn't very consistent.
Yeah. I mean, so in that kind of environment, not to disparage anyone, but the kind of people who might thrive who wouldn't otherwise, people who are like, well, let me see what I get away with. And, if I'm a landlord, I'm giving you a nice sauna, for instance. I maybe, hey, I gave him a sauna. I can whip him a couple times and can't really complain. It's a good deal. Hey, I put a gym in the basement. Why can't I put a gag in your mouth once a month? You can call the cops on me. This is very reasonable rent. This is not expensive. I should be able to, burn your child. Right? No, not right. But just saying. I'm just saying. Help me here. What was that? What tangent are we on? The ivermectin paste.
Yeah, and me wanting to be a horse.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just saying. Yeah. So. Just cruelty abounding. You could be killed by you love these serial killers like all women do. You're all.
I wouldn't say I love these serial killers. I think it's informative to listen to how they did their crimes.
I mean, I would buy this. You've made this point that no, I'm not like every other girl who fetishizes Ted Bundy and Manson and all this crap. I'm actually watching this so I learn.
Yeah.
But I would buy it if you had like a notebook and you were watching these things, and instead of getting ammo for when you masturbate later on, you were like writing notes, and you were like kind of like taking the best strategies from each serial killer, and kind of building your own kind of exit plan for if you get
I build exit plans based on what I hear. I listen to one podcast in particular. And they don't romanticize these guys. They talk about them very harshly. But they give little details about how they got into people's, locking your door.
Yeah, the one thing I've seen you do is close the latch lock on our apartment door, which is already locked.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's double security.
That's why you devoted all your leisure time to
if we ever
reveling in the trophies of psychopaths.
If we ever move and we have a house or something and a child, I might actually do this little door trick that I've heard of.
What's the door trick? What should we say? Should we put it out there in the world, or should we keep it to ourselves?
Well, I don't think that knowing what the door trick is won't defend you against the door trick.
Okay.
So it's basically behind a locked door.
Yeah.
You prop a chair.
Well, that's been in movies forever.
So that if somebody comes
in, who told you that? Wait.
The chair gets knocked over.
Okay, well, is that what they're doing there? Okay. Look, first of all, that's not a trick you learned watching. That's something that you see in every single movie that anyone.
I've never seen it in a movie.
You've never seen people propping the thing in the door?
No.
I've wondered if that was the reason, or people just thought it was it doesn't seem like it would stop anything. So it's just there so you hear It's the door. So every day you just shove a chair in your door.
Yeah, at night.
Yeah, and so that way you can look him in the eye right before he slashes your throat. you get up. What's that noise? And you come out. Oh, that's my fault. Thank you, Lucie. That was Ted Bundy calling me.
Look, it wouldn't save me because I would sleep through the chair.
You need a gun.
Crashing.
We need to get you a gun. If I get you a gun, will you shoot people with it? If need
randomly?
Be? No, if need be. Would you be able to
shoot a person?
No matter how cute you think he is, or how charming or how sexy, and like how kind of turned on you are by his just kind of laissez-faire attitude towards life? Would you be able to shoot him?
Yeah, look, I would absolutely shoot a serial killer.
Okay, what about some guy who might be a serial killer? Like
what situation would I be in where I wasn't sure?
Some guys just asking you questions about yourself, like,
No, I'm not going to shoot a man for asking questions.
He's like asking you a boyfriend.
Yeah, I don't think that's an appropriate reason to shoot someone. If
he invites you to like some kind of fancy, expensive dinner, tells you you're pretty. Starts questioning things I about me, putting me down.
If someone
helping you to second guess things I've told you about yourself, would you be able to shoot that?
Tries to build my self-esteem up.
Yeah, try to get meddle in my affairs. Would you be able to shoot him then? That's no, or maybe.
I don't think I would.
Can we get you to that point? Can I gaslight you to the point where you're shooting guys like? I mean, because honestly, that's just good practice.
That would be a crazy level of control. If you could get me to a point mentally where I would just automatically shoot anyone who hit on me.
This is actually a cool idea for a movie.
Yeah.
We should make this movie.
And then there would be a scene where the door is propped on.
Yeah.
The chair is propped on the door.
I gaslit you a million times that was not. I wouldn't say gaslit, but I lectured you a million times that this doesn't work. But like it's against trying to use against me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. We'll move on, I guess. We talked about the ivermectin paste. Yeah. I'm a little all over the place today, even though you're supposed to keep me on track a little bit. But you are. But I'm saying, like, I need you to remind me. You need to be the refresh page today.
Why don't we talk about Texas?
Well, I was about to, yeah. I
thought I was supposed to keep you on track. I'm sorry.
I just want to make sure I covered the ivermectin paste, even though that wasn't even one of my topics.
So people are shitting and dying.
Oh, horses. So you wouldn't want to. Yeah, we'll go on to the next thing. So you wouldn't want to roam around and eat dirt and like fuck other horses.
Well, that's the other thing. I just think eating is more fun as a human being.
Is it?
Yeah, you get to eat more a variety of things.
Yeah, we don't eat a variety. You eat Japanese every night, and I get the same stupid sandwich. We might as well have a bucket of oats and apples and milk. And yeah, I mean, you just have cool hair.
Yeah, that's true.
We get to fucking fuck humans.
I like the idea of being able to run really fast.
I would love. Yeah, that would be dope. That would be really cool. Also, that thing when like humans try to get you to fuck them.
Yeah.
And like there's a whole group of guys. Like there's a famous thing that happened where a group of guys they had like a harness set up, and like so they would hold the horse, I guess.
Yeah.
And then it would penetrate the guy, which I didn't even know the guy's ass would take a horse dick at all. But it went too far. But then that moment when like you realize that like they're using me, but then my dick killed them.
Yeah.
I don't want to kill people with my dick. Like it's not even something you can enjoy as a human if you do, unless you're a fucking maniac. But the idea, it does feel like a Rocky moment, or a Gladiator, right? Where like that horse probably was very happy.
Yeah.
Like because it's just like I got my captors.
Well, it's like imagine.
But also my dick killed him.
Imagine being raped as a woman or something, and then all of a sudden some protrusion just jets out of your pussy and kills the guy.
Yes. Instantly. Would you? So you're agreeing to put the gun in your pussy?
Sure, I'll put a gun in my pussy.
All right. Nice. See, that feels unfair because, like, yeah, if he's asking you to go on a date, you can say no. But like, there's no reason his dick should be there.
Yeah, that's true.
If his dick gets shot, there is no moral ambiguity here. I mean, I guess like women might say she has a right to cheat on you, and she does. But I don't know if I have the rights. Well, I mean, I can't like.
Maybe the legal right.
Yeah, I can't be sitting there going like, well, you deserve to not get killed. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that's just that. This is not the ideal situation. But I have the right.
This is a very dark scenario.
I'm saying I have the right to ask you to put a gun in your pussy to shoot a dick if anyone would fuck you. I know the gun's there, and I'll disarm it first. Texas. Speaking of things and pussies.
Pussy law.
Pussy law. That's good. We should change all abortion laws to pussy law. So Texas has created this bill. I'm a little fuzzy on the timeline of what happened when. I'm not sure if last night was when they passed the law or is when the Supreme Court decided not to do anything about it. But they have a law now in Texas, a ban on abortions after 6 weeks, which is effectively all abortions.
Yeah.
I mean, someone made the point. I was reading just like they were doing IVF, and like so, they were injecting themselves with their husband's cum or whatever, trying to get pregnant.
Yeah.
And so like they were like studying it, like trying to figure out like what. And as soon as they were able to get, the doctors were able to tell if you're pregnant is 4.5 weeks.
Right.
That's someone like watching your pussy or your uterus or whatever the fuck.
And then on top of that, it's Texas, so there's probably a bunch of also laws about like you've got to wait a week, and then you got to get 50 ultrasounds.
Sure, I'm sure there's all sorts of stuff. But basically, they're treating this is effectively a ban on abortions in Texas. I don't think there's a rape. Someone said there was a rape disqualification.
How does that work? Do you have to like prove that you were raped?
Well,
or can you just say you were raped?
Like women always do. Is that what you're trying to say?
That's my concern.
Why don't we use... Hey, ladies, how about we just use the oldest trick in our book?
Well, look, it is the kind of thing, like, considering how scared people are of false rape accusations, like, it is the exact kind of thing that would incentivize false rape accusations.
It would, but I don't think there is first someone said there was, and then I was reading there isn't.
Yeah.
Also, there's no medical exemption. There might be. Again, this is not the point. How do you feel about this as a woman?
I think it's great. No, I mean, look, I for a while I hadn't read about this because I'm on a blackout of news.
Yeah.
And knowledge of all kinds. But like I used to follow the Texas stuff like pretty closely. And like it's like at this point it's a lost cause. Like there's barely any abortion clinics to begin with. It's like get the fuck out of Texas.
Oh, is that true? There's already been years of.
I think there's like one left. Like it's like it's crazy.
I don't think it's one. I think it's more.
I think you could count them on one hand.
Really, in all of Texas?
Yeah,
that can't be true.
No, yeah. I mean, it's weird because it's a huge state.
For how long? I mean, the whole time that Roe v. Wade's been going on, or
the whole time that like these like legal battles.
Okay, like past 10 years, probably.
Yeah, like past 10 years.
Interesting. I know that was an issue with some states, like where there's like only one abortion. But I thought Texas. I mean, they're massive.
Yeah.
They gotta have like even if they had a couple dozen, they wouldn't be like enough to service everyone.
No, like the state government like just basically hit all these clinics with these like crazy regulations that are completely unnecessary. But it's like you have to
not rape the patient.
Yeah.
Look, I know she had sex, so she's a whore.
You have to not use the abortion clinic for child porn shoots.
Doctor, I understand that because she's had intercourse, obviously, so she's a whore. This is clear, but you still can't rape her. That's not we don't have a law saying you can rape whores.
You can't eat the child after it's been aborted. That's just ridiculous.
That's I mean, look, I mean. We're a Christian state.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, look, it's not great. What do you think of it? Like, do you think this is the Supreme Court should have stopped this?
Yeah. I mean, look, of course, but it's like, it like I don't even know.
This is I get what you're on way of what you're doing here because it is kind of like at this point. I don't know what the demarcation line for this is. 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
But for a while now, everything has been fucked.
I get it if you're rich and you can just fly your teenage daughter or whatever to another state and get an abortion and come back. But it's like, like it's. I mean, it's also it's also shitty to just say people should move because that's not as easy as it seems either. But it's like.
But they should.
But it's like it's ridiculous at this point.
At a certain point, like I mean.
At least don't move to Texas.
Yeah, can we stop? Can we stop with the Joe Rogans and the Elon? Enough. This is not the comedy capital of the world. This is a place where they fucking want to outlaw abortion and fucking carry guns around and fucking not sell. I don't know what they do over there. They're crazy people.
Yeah.
They're not. Austin is just like a fucking demarcation. It's like a DMZ. It's fucking people just getting killed in the streets.
And you can't even feel bad for all women because probably a lot of the women who live there are pro-life. Like it's like it's a cultural thing. People don't like abortions over there.
They really don't like abortions. Now the thing about it's not just an abortion ban.
Yeah. It's
because apparently the reason for this, the reason it's hard for like they want to make it hard to go to the Supreme Court like challenge this. So typically you would file a lawsuit against the state senate or senator who passed the law or something, or the attorney general.
Yeah.
But in this case, to avoid that, again, I'm not like super up on exactly the minutia of how it works, but they've basically structured this so that they've made it so this is not a ban per se as far as like the state senate or something. It's allowing people to sue any person. Any person can sue. I can sue anyone I suspect of having an abortion illegally, and win $10,000. I don't even know how that works. Like, it doesn't sound like any law or any kind of law I've ever heard. I mean, I was a paralegal. I know I'm not a lawyer, but I did study stuff in paralegal studies for 2 years, and I studied laws, different types of laws, the foundations of laws. This seems to break every tenet of like English common law, Western law infrastructure, Napoleonic law. Nothing works like this. Where you're basically they're calling it a bounty. It's basically like you could not just sue. I think maybe not the patient. I think the patient may not get sued. I'm not sure about that, but they can sue the doctor.
Yeah,
they can sue anyone who helps facilitate it. It's like an Uber driver, which is like
an Uber driver.
But I didn't even make sense. I think they actually said an Uber driver.
Wow.
Unless Again, we're living in a world.
So how would this work? So if you're in like a Tupperware club,
yeah,
and you suspect some other lady in the Tupperware club got an abortion recently,
yeah,
you would do some detective work.
You turn your Nancy Drew slut cap, and you would fucking you would snoop through her garbage. You see try to see if there's any ivermectin in her garbage, and you just take that, eat that. And then but like I don't know, I don't think you have to prove I don't even know how it works. How do you prove someone had an abortion or not? Like this is my
you got to be a really big rat to get something like that done.
Yeah, well, and then people are going, this is weaponizing the poverty because people who are poor will do this. And it's like, I mean, maybe. It's also like at a certain point we stop fucking.
Imagine if this abortion bill ended up ending poverty in Texas.
I mean, I don't care how hungry your kids are. That's low.
Yeah.
I mean, at a certain point, we got to stop letting people like people act like
sell your body for Christ's sake.
I'm saying go to night school, do something. I'm not one of these people who shits on people who don't have money, but like at a certain point, we can't just excuse don't be privileged by people in poverty. Fucking go plant a tree in the backyard and eat the apples. I don't know what to tell you. You can't excuse someone ratting on an abortion. This is not like these aren't like people who are mentally handicapped who are just like roaming the streets. They're just people who don't have money. Yeah, I know poverty sucks, but like we can't use it just to you're not allowed to be poor. Like oh this guy is so poor they fucking. I was gonna make another rape joke.
It's gonna turn into one of those like penny hoarder articles. Yeah. Like, how I made $100,000 this year. Ratted out 10 women who had abortions. I mean,
honestly, we want to do some projects, right?
Yeah.
We would like to make an independent film at some point.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of money, right? Now, you could fucking do a GoFundMe or some shit, but should we just go spend a year in Texas and just, I feel like we're smarter.
Abortion bounty hunters.
Yeah, we're smarter than the average bear. We can fucking, I feel like with your knowledge of the female anatomy and my charm and guile, we can go. We'll hang out at bars where loose women hang out, and we'll chat them up, and we'll get some fake paraphernalia for our baby. who we aborted. Basically we'll have this kind of like ruse that we kind of establish in the middle of loose women bars where we talk about how great, how happy we are that we had our abortions, and then like we're celebrating the 1 year anniversary of our abortion, and and we lure these people in, and then they share their lives with us.
Maybe we could seduce them into threesomes and actually create pregnant women that we could rat out.
Oh, interesting. So I have to impregnate these women.
Yeah, but I could be there too.
I mean, are we splitting the money? I feel like at this point I should be getting a lion's share of them, or at least a two-thirds split here. It's my cum. Could we? I don't know how it works. I mean, you just kind of like I guess you have to get a lawyer, and then there's gonna be we're gonna have like a bunch of like just abortion.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't the price of the lawyer almost make it not worth it?
Lawyers don't cost $10,000. I mean, for like it's not gonna be a huge case probably.
You get one of those lawyers who you only pay them if they win.
Yeah, but I think there's a fixed amount, like $10,000. This is probably just a boon to the lawyers. Yeah. It's gonna be a bunch. I mean, the only saving grace will be a bunch of people who thought like, oh, this is our ticket. We're finally out of this rat race of poverty. And then you find out you only got like $500 because the lawyer. It probably will happen. Honestly. Yeah, it's a great point. These lawyers are all just. This is all just to get 10 different lawyers, like an extra vote.
It's just a giant scam.
I feel like I want to do something about this.
Yeah.
Because look, I kind of don't even want to get fit. I grew up pro-life. My parents pro-life. I grew up. I was famously anti-abortion. I think I talked about my Eagle Scout Corps of Honor. How what your goal, like you had to kind of have some essay and like about what you want to achieve and stuff. And like I think I wrote about how I want to use my skills to help end abortion in America. Like so to bring them. It was like
really,
yeah, it was pretty crazy. Oh. So I'm sympathetic to people who want to control women's bodies. Yeah.
Well, you had that fantasy. You may have talked about it before.
We talked about it like a week or two ago, or we brought it up again. The pregnant woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That woman. I don't think that woman was in any danger of getting an abortion. Yeah. Very happily pregnant woman, I think. And we're just using her as an example. You had this fantasy. She was going to get an abortion. You stopped it. Like, I have a husband, you fat fuck.
You ever raise the baby for her?
What?
Just the fact that you the fantasy you're offering to help raise her baby.
Yeah.
It's just so cute.
Thank you. Well, it's not. Look, I mean, it's the kind of thing. Because you look, men reach a certain age and nothing going on, and their job sucks, and you got the prospect of a hot girl, you got some baby, but it's not even your baby. I'll just raise it. And so you can feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
It's like if it's my baby, I'm wiping his ass. Which I probably wouldn't be wiping his ass. I'm like I'm helping with the kid. So I get to. I mean, I'm providing the money.
Yeah.
You live in my apartment. And I'll do stuff with the kid, but the lion's share of the gross stuff, it's your baby. It's not even my baby. Come on.
You just pull that. You would help her raise the baby, but you'd pull that card out
all the time.
Whatever, all the time.
Put yourself in that shoe and try. Ask me to help with something.
Hey, sorry, I'm just so tired. Would you mind changing, Dennis?
Look, I mean, look, hey, first of all, I love you so much.
Thank you. I love you
I'm
too.
so glad they could help pull you out of that situation.
Oh, well, I really appreciate it.
And you're beautiful, and this is great. And I have a family now. That being said, it's just, I feel like it's just not, it's a little intimate of an exchange. I'm not really the father. But I do have these triskets.
Yeah, but you let him call you. You encourage him to call you daddy.
It's good for him to have someone there that he can call daddy. For sure. I mean, look, I'm willing to allow for it to be that guy for him in his head. But it's like it's not really my kid. But I do have this box of Triscuits that I bought. You can have something. You want these Triscuits? I paid for it. I pay for the food. This is what I do. This is a nice
That's obviously not a terrible exchange.
Yeah, I wish I was a worse person. I can't, like, my version of being a total scumbag is going to just politely saying, hey, I'll let you live here for free. You want Triscuits? Not like burning her with cigarettes. Hey, whore! And just like, like the real version would be someone beating her because, like, even though he invited her to live here, how you just waking up drunk and like and be like, you fucking, that's some other guy's kid. Like, you asked me to live. You fucking whore. You eating my Triscuits? You've been eating these I pay for these Triscuits. Yeah, I'm a good person, I guess. Aww. I wish I was. Well, no. I don't know what. Honestly, look, you can do it when we're alone. It's one thing, but there is. I'm not trying to condemn you here. There is something wounding to me about hearing you say "aw." I'm not sure why.
Why?
I don't know, because I'm not trying to be some teddy bear. I wish I could burn some woman with a cigarette. I just don't have it in me. I feel like I'm not a man.
You aspire to be the kind of man who would burn a woman with a cigarette.
Aspire assumes that, like, I think I could. I know I can't do it. So it's like, it's kind of, I'm just lamenting the fact that I'm not really a man.
A real man burns women with cigarettes.
I'm not saying he's not proud of it per se. There's a spectrum of people who do it.
But you just want to have that kind of rage inside.
It's kind of like when you watch Mad Men. Don wasn't always beating his wife, but there was a couple of times when he was abusive towards her.
Well, I think there's only one scene where he kind of shakes her a little bit.
Is that all he does? I feel like there's scenes where he was like just very drunk and abusive to her. Flashes of it. I mean, it was the idea that it was.
I mean, emotionally abusive, for sure.
Yeah, he lied about being a soldier.
Yeah, lying to her, cheating on her, always.
Well, she was kind of annoying.
She's like a child in a woman's body.
Yeah.
And she has shaky hands.
Betty Draper, the handshaker. Watch Mad Men if you don't get this.
But anyway,
if you have watched Mad Men, we're not doing a great job with the analogy here, so it probably wouldn't make sense anyway. Betty Draper, the handshaker. Remember when he hit his wife all the time? No, he didn't do that. You're thinking of NYPD Blue or something.
So you can sympathize with people who are against abortion. You've been in there. You've
walked a
mile in.
Wow, that was a long detour. Yeah, to a point.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was a great comeback.
Thank you.
They have to acknowledge it, but that's fucking phenomenal. The fans are thanking you right now. So I don't want to say at this point not much because like fuck off.
Yeah.
There's so much. This is the problem with pro-life people. It's just the world is literally falling apart. We just allowed Afghanistan to collapse into a sinkhole of despair and violence and rape for however many decades. We invaded Iraq for no reason. This was 20 years ago, by the way. This is like I'm talking now. It was COVID, the fucking this and that. Everything's wrong.
Yeah,
everything was wrong with the world, right?
Yeah.
And then we got climate change. We got fucking what else? Violence is gonna come back. Violence is making a big comeback.
Yeah.
Because we made this perfect storm where like we didn't do anything about cops shooting black kids or anyone, I guess. But we also got the cops to stop enforcing crimes. We found that perfect mixture.
Right.
Where we didn't actually do anything, and but we just treated cops in such a way where they don't want to do anything anymore.
Yeah.
It's just self-admitting it sometimes even.
Yeah.
Doesn't that strike? I mean, fascinating what we're doing in this country. I'm not saying you shouldn't hold cops accountable, but pick something. Think about how you're gonna do it first. Don't just start saying ACAB and then not following through, and then now get the worst of both worlds.
Right.
Oh, but when they say it's a 300% rise in violent crime, it's actually not that big. Okay, that's glass half full.
I think there's an argument that there was maybe always going to be a rise in violent crime after COVID, but still.
Why?
What?
Why?
Because people are unemployed. There's mass unemployment. I mean,
sure.
I think the biggest
I know it's mass unemployment. People can't get jobs. People can fill jobs up.
Yeah, but there's still like there is some kind of thing where it's like when people are unemployed, more crime happens.
Yeah, because it's not actually like
because like people just don't have shit to do.
They feel yeah exactly right okay. At least make that point.
But it's like but yeah, also like abolishing the police is stupid.
It is, and so that's not the point of this. The point of bringing all this up is like it ain't great. I mean, but what we got to do is just get a shitload more people in here.
Right.
Just you should be able to tap out, and your parents can do it for you. I don't know why we need. Oh, it's murder. All right, well, why don't you do something about the murders in Afghanistan or fucking or Finland for that matter? Well, there's not much in Finland.
Yeah.
But whatever. They don't want to care. So I'm not that sympathetic. It's a fucking thing. I don't know if I think that it's all woman control, like control women's bodies. It seems like it's got to be at least part of it. I
mean, I feel like it's part trying to control women's bodies, and I've definitely seen people who like that does seem to be their main motivation. And like,
interesting. Tell me about that, because I have a hard time visualizing it. Although I do kind of concede that it would be the logical.
Well, it's like the same people. I guess maybe these are the more extreme people, but it's like the same people who are like against abortion and birth control. Like it's like it's just so that like women will. Oh,
so you think like I was thinking about this today. So the idea is basically that these people don't so much want control over your body per se, like to be weird Dr. Mengeles or whatever.
Yeah.
But that they want to go back to a time when women were chattel.
They just want women to have to give birth. And I feel like a lot of the time it's also connected with some weird like
that can't just be that can't be
with some weird paranoia about birth rates going down. Like it's like there's definitely that breed of person.
Oh, so this is it's possible that this is a reaction to these ideas that minorities are demographically going to take over.
I think it ties in sometimes.
That's not possible.
But then I think there's also people who are just kind of dumb pacifists,
right?
Who think that like under no circumstances can you like kill a grouping of cells. Like it's like it's just kind of like it's this idea that it's like all killing is tantamount.
Well, it's the Catholics, but it's also in my experience that's all the only time they care about is this. Is just this.
Yeah.
And oftentimes they're like kind of pro death penalty, even though they say they're not.
Right.
Like they're much more pro anti-abortion than they are anti-death penalty. Even though the Catholic Church technically doesn't, and the Pope will call and be like, "Hey, don't kill that guy," at the last minute.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
sorry, my throat keeps getting dry because I'm still getting over this sickness.
I guess I'm just like more pro killing than some people, because like if we could figure out some of the issues with the death penalty, like the racial disparities, people getting sentenced to death like kind of like haphazardly.
Yeah.
Like it's like if we could, and maybe we can't get rid of those things, and that's the argument for not having it.
Right.
But if we could, and the only people who were getting the death penalty were like real serial killers and rapists and child killers.
Sure.
I don't know if I'd be against it.
No, I'm not against it in theory. It's like, just, it's like, no, the state shouldn't kill. Well, there's arguments for that, but like, fuck that. I would love to watch, people get executed for, traffic tickets. I mean, that would also be fun. I mean, like, look, Rome seemed to have a good time, the Romans. And they watched these Christians getting eaten by lions.
Right.
After today, wouldn't you like to see a Christian get eaten by a lion? Be kind of nice. I'm just saying. So I don't know. I want to do something to help.
Right.
And I don't necessarily want to build another database of people, like the Excelsior Pass with COVID.
Right.
But I do kind of want to keep. I don't want to be the guy who keeps tabs on people, but I kind of want to keep tabs on people who would otherwise have been aborted and are alive. I want to know who they are,
right?
So that I could treat them poorly.
The people who are only born because a woman was legally prohibited from having an abortion.
Yes, and I want to treat them very poorly.
They should be second-class citizens.
Not officially, but I should be able to treat them as such.
Like, what kinds of things would?
I'm not saying they should. I'm not making some legal case like like it's retaliation. The blue states will now have a database. But I just want to be mean to.
What kinds of things? What kind of treatment do you imagine?
Like if I'm in a bar, and this guy goes, "Hey, this guy celebrating his birthday with his buddy," and then it's kind of it's not a very crowded bar, so just you kind of overhear someone's conversation. Maybe just kind of an implicit thing where, like, you can kind of chime in if you're not an asshole, right? Like, oh, I heard you're talking about the Nets, the Knicks, such and such, blah blah blah, and Knicks talk, right? That would be fine. So if you're like, hey, telling the bartender it's his birthday, and he's going like, hey, and she's giving him a shot. 20 years ago today, I was almost aborted. But thank God for this crazy law in Texas. And which my mom couldn't, my whore mother couldn't abort me. My mother was a real whore apparently, but she was stopped from aborting me. And I'll overhear us and I'll go, piece of shit. Excuse me? Fucking you're a piece of shit. I'm pretty drunk at this point. Fucking disgusting.
So it's not a database. It's just people announcing that on...
That's a good point.
30 years ago to this date, I was almost aborted.
Well, that's a good point. You actually brought up a very good point that my example had nothing to do with the database. But you can see the benefit of it in the moment, and wouldn't it be nice that I could do it?
What if they have to make some kind of? What if they have to wear some kind of identifying marking?
You're trying to make what you're trying to do right now is make this sound as much as possible as you can about like the Holocaust. And then somehow tie me into the Holocaust.
But we don't kill them.
Which is not what I'm. This is a strategy you're doing. Yeah. You're trying to tie me to Hitler, and I'm not going to let you.
It's a Holocaust without death.
It's funny. I brought up the Holocaust last night. Sidebar. I ordered some. Should I
right. No, definitely say those.
I ordered some a bottle of whiskey from one of these apps that you buy whiskey from.
Right.
And the guy comes and he's I give him my passport because my license expired or whatever, and I give him my passport and he's scanning it, and it doesn't work. What happened? He hit the wrong button, and now it won't let him do it. And he gets on the phone with the app people, and they're like, and I'm getting kind of. I'm being polite for a while, and I'm getting in front. I'm standing in my doorway with some stranger with a bottle of fucking bourbon, and he's talking to this fucking idiot customer service person on the phone. Who's just like, you gotta return it to the store, I guess. I'm like, that can't be the answer.
Right.
This is the fucking future. We're living in the future. Abortion's illegal. But I was charged for this whiskey already. You're not gonna leave without it. They're like, oh, you'll be returned. And I'm like, no, this is ridiculous. I mean, this is like I've done this a couple times a week for months. Like, and then the person on the phone is going like, we have to follow the protocols. I start screaming, this is why the Holocaust happened. And I felt bad only because, the guy didn't do it. She was awful.
Yeah.
This is, women have a way of being really annoying on the phone.
Well, she wasn't like, I've never heard of somebody just answering a phone and there's no one else who can talk.
Yeah, I caught myself, but I did scream. I'm a white guy. This is a black guy delivering the whiskey, whatever, black man. And some woman who, what is she white or not? I don't know. But at one point I screamed, get your manager on the phone. And I don't think I said anything wrong inherently, but it is. Am I a Karen?
You're a Karen.
So, it's a moment of introspection. Perhaps I Karen'd a bit here. But, the idea, if we have to follow what the app says, she literally said that. Yeah. We have to follow what the app says. This is the future. We use an app. The app told you to put Jews in the oven. You doing it? I used to think no, but apparently, ivermectin paste.
Do you want to talk about this week's Batman?
Excuse me. I still get the remnants of his sinus thing. Sure. This is we'll come back to the, I still have stuff to talk about with the abortion stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's finish.
Well, I just had this idea that, we could maybe start a abortion thing in the back of a van.
A mobile abortion clinic.
Yeah.
I think they had those in the 70s.
There's not much to this.
Before Roe versus Wade.
I should have just
a lot of women died in them.
All right, but we have generators now, and we have LED lights. And
that's true. We could actually we know how to do abortions now.
Yeah, we have phones. We do YouTube videos showing you how to shove the battery inside her.
So we'll be watching the YouTube video and following along as we perform the abortions.
Look, here's the thing. A lot of doctors act like they know what they're doing so well they don't have to. But I think a lot of doctors would probably do themselves and their patients a service by just following a YouTube video. All right? I mean, like, they all think they remember the steps to a surgery. But I think, look, professionals on TV have cue cards, don't they? Just saying. Maybe a doctor, I don't think it's the worst thing this is what I'm telling people who are coming to our illicit abortion clinic. Hey, you watching a YouTube video? Hey, Letterman had cue cards. What do you want to do? Pull out your cooler. Yeah. So maybe we'll do that. This Batman, which Lucie just mentioned, is part of my series of depression Batmans. The Batmans that I buy because I'm depressed. Not at the moment depressed per se, but just a general malaise of whatever. I'm not exactly. Am I the picture of mental health? I got into buying Batmans. Whatever. This is the Last Night on Earth Batman. It's from a mini series by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. And he's wearing you thought this was, what did you think this was?
A straitjacket.
No, but you didn't think
no. No. It was I thought it was an astronaut's uniform.
He looks like an astronaut uniform, but he's actually in a straitjacket. Bruce Wayne wakes up as Batman in a mental asylum. It's not a big part of the story. He breaks out right away. And he's carrying, it's this dystopian thing. The story is whatever, but I like the fact he's carrying a Joker head. The Joker head talks in the comic.
Oh.
Yeah, and I like that. I like the idea that Batman and him are friends, even though they don't act very friendly. They're antagonistic.
Is he like Joker kind of his sidekick in this?
Kind of. I mean, he's antagonistic, but what can he do?
Yeah.
He's just, he's busting his balls, and Batman's, shut up, you stupid Joker.
Is there an explanation for the head, or is it just there?
A lot of shit went down, and he got hurt by someone. I don't know why he's alive. No, not particularly. To the extent that, how and why? No.
This sounds fun.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's fun. But I started thinking, like, who would you carry around in the post-apocalypse, no abortion hellscape? If you woke, like, whose head would you carry around in the jar? You can pick anyone. Anyone. I would pick. You can pick multiple people. I would like to have Henry Kissinger head in the jar.
Oh, that's good.
And I go around to different countries that we've ravaged over the years, and sightseeing, kind of like that movie, As Good as It Gets. Is that everything? Oh no, what's the one with old Jack Nicholson when he's going around? Come on.
On the road trip?
Yeah, but it's by himself. He's like his old house is a fucking tire shop now.
Oh,
Schmidt, something Schmidt, right?
Yeah.
Kimmy Schmidt.
I Am Schmidt. Life of Schmidt.
Schmidt.
I would carry around the head of Carl Panzram.
Carl Panzram, the famous rapist?
Yeah.
the raper of dock workers?
Of men.
Right.
Of full-grown men. Not of
of stevedores, dock workers.
Yeah.
Longshoremen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Jack Nicholson.
Also had a bizarrely articulate journal about it. About how much he loves sodomy and rape.
Can you read that? Is that out there?
Yeah, you can read it.
About Schmidt. So it's me and about Schmidt, but I'm with Churchill, and we're going to like Cambodia and Laos, and it's just like, but like, this used to be where we trained the the guys to do the rape junta. The junta.
Junta, yeah.
Yeah, like where they rape all the peasant women, and this is gonna. It was a strategy me and Nixon came up with to just have the women be raped. But now we're at the McDonald's. And then it's kind of like that very quirky, like mid-2000s indie movie. But that kind of like synth music.
Right.
Like a David O. Russell kind of thing. But you want to take Carl Panzram around in the head. But he can't rape anyone. He's a head.
Yeah, but he can talk about how much he'd like to rape the men we see.
But then he's going to get you raped. All he can do is run his big mouth. And he's like, you pieces. I picture you in a bar. And this is why I'm a good boyfriend, because I'm picturing this.
I'd be carrying him around, and he'd be going sodomy for breakfast, sodomy for lunch, sodomy for dinner.
That sounds cute.
Which is actually a quote from his journal.
Wow. I mean, honestly, he's getting a little self-aware. It's jumping the shark a little. I talk about it a lot, but I don't know if I like the idea. I mean, it's one thing to just rape because you're a monster, but only rape men because you're not like some pussy like all the other serial killers,
right?
But I don't like the idea. Like, was he just half of this just branding himself? Hey, look at me. I'm the stevedore rapist.
He was trying to sell
sodomy for breakfast, sodomy for lunch. All right, it's getting a little hack. I'm also picturing a scene where you're in a bar.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of grizzly men who you wouldn't want to be alone with per se. Yeah, maybe you would, but whatever. They wouldn't care if you did or not. That's the point. You know what I mean?
Weirdly enough, this sounds a lot like Carl Panzram's origin story.
This is my point.
Yeah.
And Carl, and you're drinking a fucking beer, and he's got a shot that he kind of like leans his head into and sips, and he starts going off. Oh, look at these chuds over here, these chodes. Yeah, exactly the kind of boys I would have raped back in the day. All three, I would have raped you with sodomy. Right in the ass, mouth, tits, and ear. Oh, what a rape. You wouldn't have been able to stop me.
Oh, what a rape it would have been.
Yeah, well, and then he's going to look at you. You're such a... And then they get so frustrated and offended and hurt. That and I don't want to even say it, but, you're in the crosshairs now. Carl Panzram has put you in the crosshairs.
That's when I pull out the pussy gun.
Woo! And you thought I was an asshole for bringing it up. That's nice. That's why you need a pussy gun.
That's why.
Because sometimes the rapist head that you carry around with you gets into trouble.
Yeah.
We have left Afghanistan for good, or for now. We're out. All the people are gone. Mm-hmm. I think we left like 200 people behind, which seems like a lot.
Yeah.
But they couldn't get to the airport. They couldn't get to the airport for some reason. I mean, what is Delta Force doing? I know. This is not a movie, and I'm not a little kid anymore, and we don't just do whatever we want. But after 20, the special operation in Afghanistan, when it started out, it's just special operations guys, fucking special forces and Delta and all those dudes. In the early days of the war, I think expanded beyond that. But I'm saying the Joint Special Operations Command post 9/11 was radically expanded. Part of why we wanted Iraq was airspace so we could launch all these war on terror missions or whatever. I mean, it's bullshit, whatever. But point is, I'm not saying they're supermen, but they can't run with those Black Hawk Down, those little whirly bird helicopters, and get these people from the fucking middle of Kabul or whatever to the air, or they couldn't get to the airport. Go get them.
Right.
There's 200. It's not like you have 20,000.
Yeah.
Oh, 200 people couldn't get to the airport. Why don't we? I'm not one of these guys complaining about the way Biden left Afghanistan. I know you could. I know you probably should. But at this point, whatever. It's a 20-year war. We didn't end it well. Okay. But it does seem like this is one thing we do. We're supposed to be able to do is just get guys in whirlybird helicopter. Get Bill Burr over there, the famous helicopter pilot, and just fucking get him to the airport. All you gotta do is get him to the airport, and then the plane takes off.
Right.
Anyway, excuse me. Biden basically said that this is. I think he's trying to cover up his. Look, it didn't go as well as I planned. I'm paraphrasing. But it also could be how he sounded. Yeah. Well, the plan. I'm the president, by the way. No. That he takes responsibility, blah, blah, blah. But also, this is it should be an end of nation building, I think he said. Do you buy that? Do you think it should be, and do you think it will be?
Well, now we're doing everything with drones. We don't
necessarily
have to,
We've had drones since this thing started, basically. Maybe in the first year, but we've had drones since 05 or 06 over there, I believe.
Yeah, but it's expanded over the years, too.
Sure, but well, look.
I mean, maybe it's just we're doing everything with robots now and we don't have to send people over.
I don't think, look, this is, you sound like exactly?
What?
Donald Rumsfeld. Famously, Donald Rumsfeld,
I'm not saying it's a good thing.
But no, his whole thing was we don't need to have this massive two-theater army. This whole idea, since World War II that we need to be able to fight a massive war on two fronts. And we just need groups of light infantry forces to like do whatever and then get out, right? And that works if you just want to kill people.
Yeah, right.
If you just want to like take some people out, we can do that.
Yeah.
It's just like you can't control what happens afterwards at all. I mean, and what's going to happen is worse people are going to be there.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever. I mean, I'm not even making a judgment call here. I'm just saying it doesn't work. Like the drones don't really. You can just kill a bunch of goat farmers, and then sometimes they'll maybe be like guys who read a terrorist pamphlet once or something. I mean, I'm sure we have killed a couple terrorists in the past 20 years.
Yeah.
A few.
Maybe 3.
Right. That seems a little high, but do you right? But here, look. First, I'm just questioning the whole idea of it, though. That's what we do. The only thing we have left is war.
Right.
I'm not advocating for it. I've been saying get out of this stuff forever. But do you think this is dangerous for Biden to be bringing up? Do you think you're gonna get him like Kennedy? You think you're gonna put a bullet in his head like Kennedy, like that beautiful Kennedy boy who shoved pills in Maryland's mouth?
I don't think so because I don't think he means it. I think Kennedy kind of meant it.
That's a good point. You actually believe in Camelot? You're like Oliver Stone.
I believe.
You're like Oliver Stone.
Do not forget your fallen king.
Like Oliver Stone, you believe that if not for Kennedy having his the back of his head redistricted, that everything would have been different.
I mean, or maybe he just would have fucked whores. Yeah,
would have fucked a lot of whores.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine
maybe both.
Imagine his post presidency.
Oh boy,
who could Kennedy have fucked? Like if
you can fuck Marilyn Monroe, I think you could kind of fuck anybody.
Oh no, here's the game we're playing right now.
Okay.
So Kennedy was like 45 when he got killed, probably about. We'll just say.
Yeah.
45, 50, 45. Maybe younger. So that was 63-ish. So 73, 83. So 83, he's like 60, right?
Yeah.
Decent looking man in his 60s. Who's around in the 80s? Who could he have fucked? Could he have fucked the girl from Fast Times?
Definitely.
Yeah. What's her name again? Ali Sheedy?
Yeah, I think so.
Could he have fucked that redhead girl from Breakfast Club?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
There's no actress you can name.
Would JFK have fucked Madonna?
Oh, for sure.
But I'm not even asking if he could. Would he have fucked? He definitely would have fucked Madonna, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh my God, this is actually a fun game. Who do you think he could have fucked? Who was Sophia Loren? No, Sophia Loren. Who's the one? Isabella Rossellini?
Isabella Rossellini, I think, would have rejected him.
Really? Why?
I just think she's I think she's out of his league.
Look, there's this air, and I think it's almost jingoistic. The fetishizing of Isabella Rossellini, who's attractive, but not the hottest.
She's beautiful.
She's very attractive, but people could, because she's like this Italian broad, and it feels more worldly, and she's not actually that hot.
Yeah.
Hot. She's a beautiful woman. She's not that hot. And my point is, people feel like they're being sophisticated when they say they want to fuck Isabella Rossellini. And it's almost like...
I don't think so. I think people feel like I think she's just an objectively hot woman.
She's very attractive. I mean, even in Twin Peaks, which is, a great movie, and she's, hot. But there's something kind of, like, she's sexy, and she's beautiful, but there's something, like, a little off about her, where it's like, she's not that hot. I mean, it's you think you're being a fucking big shot, acting like you want to fucking shove your dick in her. And you're not better than me. It's this thing. It's just fucking like, oh, I want to fucking have sex. I mean, I think that the Christine Laitman or whatever her name is, or Lanham, she was the head of the European Central Bank.
I don't know.
That woman, Christine Landegard, I think her name was. Christine Landegard. Hold on. I think she's sexy. I like to have sex with her. 1 second. What? Time?
Yeah.
1 second. We're almost done. Christine Lagarde. Yes. Look at this woman.
She is not hotter than Isabella Rossellini.
This woman is so much hotter than Isabella Rossellini.
She's not. That's insane. Well, you're being insane.
Well, she's not a movie star, and she controls the world economy. I mean, sort of, but to most people, they would assume that she does. I mean, I get it, but I'm smarter than the average Joe with the economy. But she's a powerful woman.
This is like patronizing to powerful women.
What are you talking about?
Powerful women don't need to believe they're hotter than Isabella Rossellini.
But she is very sexy.
They're powerful and rich. That's enough.
She's very sexy.
She's not very sexy.
I think she is.
She's a fine-looking older woman.
I'd love to kiss her. What's wrong with you? You're sometimes you just try to be a bro too much. And it's just like
but this is actually me being a feminist, because you shouldn't have to believe that this woman is hotter than Isabella Rossellini to respect her level of power.
I don't question Janet Yellen's competence. I don't fucking the Fed secretary, the Fed chairman, woman, whatever the fuck, I guess. I don't know what she's doing. I don't care. Good for you, honey. I'm sure you're just as smart as a man. That's what I say to her. I don't want to fuck her. I do. This is not about me patronizing some woman because she thinks she's, a smart girl. All right. I just like this woman. All right. I'm sorry. Isabella Rossellini is in. I don't know, a shoebox full of condoms I jerked off into in case I ever meet her and I need to have a conversation starter. Okay. I'm sorry I don't have that. Anyway. This is great.
That was good.
Where can people find you? Plugs? Whatever.
You can find me on Instagram at the Steinbag, and I also have another podcast called Al Bummer that's on Giant Bomb.
Al Bummer.
Yeah.
So it's like Albumer.
And where can they find you?
I was trying to prolong your plug. I was trying to I'd want to just breeze past it. Al Bummer. So it's like an album. It's a music related podcast. It's a comedy music podcast.
I really need to leave. Where can they find you?
Okay.
Yeah.
They can find me right here alone apparently because Lucie's left. All right. Have a great week.
Bye.
Hit the button.